What's up YouTube? Erbwars here, back with another video, and today I want to talk to you guys about the saga of my Turbo Express. And yes guys, it's working again. And you guys are probably like, I didn't even know it wasn't working. Well, it stopped working on me, and I'm going to go through that little story right now and tell you how I finally got it fixed, who to go to if your Turbo Express is giving you issues, following the same symptoms, or even if it's just giving you issues and you want somebody to fix it. I'm able to give you guys information on who you can send it to. As you can see, the Turbo Express is a portable version of the TurboGrafx 16 and is able to play your turbo chips on the go. This came out back in the day when the TurboGrafx came out, by the way. So this was like the first console to actually take your home arcade console game and throw it into a portable game to play on the road. How cool is that? Talk about way ahead of its time. This came out at the same time as like the Game Boy, the Game Gear, the Lynx, all that. So anyways, back in 2013, 2014 maybe, too many games, I picked up the Turbo Express. And at the time, it was showing video, perfect. I want to say it was pretty expensive back then even, but it wasn't what it is now. But I got a really good deal on this. But it wasn't showing video. Or no, it wasn't showing sound. It was showing video, but it had no sound. And the guy he sold it to me. He was like, oh, dude, all you gotta do is plug in the headphones. That's it. Here's a little Galaga 90. Sorry, guys, I'm just excited. You know, I'm happy to have this back and working. But that was a telltale sign. You see, when it shows video and it doesn't have sound, or if it has sound and it's not showing video, telltale sign that the capacitors in the thing is going bad, or some of them already went bad. And in this case, something already happened. So I picked it up, good price. I remember walking around the convention. I was there all weekend, and I was playing it all weekend. I was playing Keith Courage, but I was listening to my headphones. I really wasn't paying attention to many people. Once I was done shopping and going through things, I'd sit at the table and I was playing my Turbo Express, and I was looking at all the games I just bought. I remember it vividly. I mean, it was only a few years ago, 8 or 9 years ago now. But the capacitors were bad, and I didn't know that because at the time, was the first time I owned one of these. I should have known it because Game Gear has the same issues, but I just didn't, at the time I wasn't educated on that. So what ended up happening is about a year later, the video, I picked it up one day, I'm like, oh, I want to play my Express. Video wasn't working. And I was like, shit. I'm messing with the contrast, doing all these things, I can't figure it out. So after like a week, couple days maybe the same day, I don't remember. I remember Googling, and I was on the internet. I was trying to figure out what was going on, and I realized that it was bad capacitors. And I was like, oh, cool. And people are like, oh, it's easy. Pick them up from console5.com and just install them yourself. Well, the issue is at the time, I didn't solder anything. I wasn't into soldering. I was always afraid, which is funny because I'm a plumber and I solder pipes, but a circuit board and pipes are completely different. But I was like, you know, I'm not going to, my first project definitely isn't going to be this because those things are so expensive. So I was like, I don't mind learning and trying to do this, but it's definitely not going to be my first one. And so I picked up the solder, or the cap kit, and I'm like holding on a shelf, and you know how things go. It was like a year later, maybe 6 months later. I was like, dude, I got to figure this out. I got to get somebody to fix this. Well, I can't even remember. Eventually, I ended up asking Walt if he would do it because he fixed my Game Boy, my Game Gear. He hooked up my Game Boy Advance. He hooked up my Game Boy Color. He hooked up my Atari Lynx. You know, Walt does a bunch of things, and Walt was like, dude, I've never worked on one of these, but I'll give it a shot. It's only capacitors. And he was able to change it, but you know, again, his schedule was busy, so a few months down the road, 5, 6, whatever happened, I don't remember. He eventually changes it, and he was like stressing out. He's like, dude, I'm like really sorry, but I can't get it to work. He's like, I have sound, but I have no video. And I was like, dude, no problem. He's like, I just want to mess with it a little bit more. And you know, time goes by, and eventually he can't get it to work. And he's beating himself up over it. And I'm like, Walt, dude, it did more than I would have been able to do. No reason to get upset. He's like, I just know how expensive. And I'm like, again, no reason to get upset. We'll figure it out. So he sends it back, and he told me about a guy on eBay that fixed it. I think his name was like Turtle something. And I was in contact with the guy, and I was getting ready to ship it out. And then when I was talking to him, I don't know, somehow I lost his username. And to this day, I haven't been able to find it. Which is weird, because even when I go on like my past messages, I can't find the messages. I don't know where he is, what happened. Anyway, so now I'm in a limbo because I have nobody to fix this. Until a couple months ago, I was on my Facebook page, and somebody was talking about, hey, this guy fixed my Turbo Duo. He does a really good job, blah, 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 blah. Here's his eBay page. And I went on his eBay page. First thing it says is fix Turbo's graphics CDs, PC Engine Duos, also Express GTs, Turbo Graphics Game Gear. I'm like, oh, here we go. So I email the guy, and I explained to him the situation. I was like, listen, we messed with it. We tried our best, but I kind of took the rap. I was like, if anything's messed up, I was like, if there's any way you can look at it, even if you can't fix it, I'd rather just pay someone to look at it and tell me that, listen, there's nothing you could do than to just have it on my shelf wondering, you know what I mean, is this going to work or not. And so I emailed him, and he was all cool about it. I want to say I sent it out to him on a Wednesday. Actually, I know it was a Wednesday. And I think he emailed me, he got it Friday. He emailed me Saturday that, he has it up and working, and he said it was more than capacitors, it was something else too. And I had it back on Tuesday or Monday or Tuesday. I know it was less than a week of me shipping it and having it back. So huge shout out to Turbo Graphics Fan on eBay. Does amazing work, and he fixed it. So if anybody is in the same situation that I was in, and your Turbo Express wasn't working, I highly suggest you picking up or getting information and contacts Turbo Graphics Fan. Because guess what, guys? I have my Turbo Express again because of him. And I'm telling you, there's nothing more badass than playing Turbo Graphics on the go. Now, granted, today it might not be as impressive because, Ambernax, Steam Decks, whatever, you could play all this. But playing on the original is just so cool. And who doesn't want to play Galaga 88, or in this case, Galaga 90 on the go? Really cool. Very happy. Just wanted to make this video because in case you are running through the same issue, you have a source of someone who could fix it. Again, eBay Turbo Graphics Fan. Thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry for my rambling. That's just how I am. I'm an old school YouTuber. And just wanted to share the information in case you're running through the same situation. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Erbwars out.